Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at McFarlane's The New Batman Adventures Firefly. This is part of the third wave of the new Batman Adventures figures. I pre-ordered him at the McFarlane toy store. He arrived today, so let's take a look at the package. As you can see at the top, McFarlane Toys, Firefly, ages 12 plus, The New Batman Adventures. Here he is in the package. We have his fire gun, bunch of alternate hands, and an animation cell reproduction. One side of the package, Firefly. The other side just says his name. At the back, here he is posed up. And at the bottom, there's his barcode, if that helps. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And of course, I did get two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. And here he is, next to the original DC Direct Firefly from almost 10 years ago. And I did get all three of these figures in the bundle at the McFarlane toy store. Use the bundle discount, the coupon code, my Platinum membership discount, and even after shipping taxes, got all these guys for significantly less than retail. Actually got more than a figure for free. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. We have a display stand, an animation cell reproduction, a total of 8 interchangeable hands, and then his fire gun. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Firefly. His real name is Garfield Lins. In most forms of media, his body is completely covered in scars from being in a fire, and I guess that sort of made him go insane, and then he became a pyromaniac. He really just likes to burn things down, cause havoc. He's a pretty cool, a little more obscure themed Batman villain. I've always been a big fan of Firefly. I think McFarlane would make an awesome one of their multiverse line, and I hope that happens eventually. In the meantime, this guy's also pretty cool, so let's take a look. So, start with his head. He's got these weird bug eyes, but they don't call him Firefly for no reason. He always has that signature look of the big eyes and the antenna on one side of the head, not both. The eyes, I opened what I thought was the better of the two figures, but mine has a black dot on the top of his eye, which is annoying. Neither one had the eyes exactly symmetrical, and I don't think really maybe they're supposed to be. I don't know. He's got this big harness holding his sort of jetpack on there. All these extra sort of flame things on the pouches. Holster for his gun. It is single jointed knees, single jointed elbows. There's his sort of jetpack there. Looking pretty cool. Looks like it has a couple of plugs there that maybe you could put some flame things into. But of course he doesn't come with any. Still, really cool to add Firefly to the Rogues Gallery. It's a pretty nice figure. A little bit bigger and bulkier than some of the other anime releases, and I really appreciate that. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Definitely bug-eyed, definitely not symmetrical, has kind of a derpy look to a point. But he's in this sort of flame-resistant suit. And I think it looks pretty good. Like I said, I'm really happy he's a little bit bigger than some of the other animated offerings, so you could maybe fudge him into some of your other collections. And then here's a figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now check out his accessories. And let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's the animation cell reproduction. Drop me a line in comments below if anyone actually cares about this and wants this in the pack, because personally, I could care less about this thing. It is a cool picture of Firefly from the new Batman Adventures. On the back, it has a little punch out. You can sort of display it like a picture frame if you want. It says it's from episode 2 of season 1 called Torch Song, and personally I don't agree with the way they label the episodes. This is season 4, the new Batman Adventures, but I guess it's season 1 of the new Batman Adventures, depending how you look at it. And then we have his display stand. It comes in 3 separate pieces. At the bottom, it has a base. It says the new Batman Adventures. Then we have this post that goes up to the top with this clamp that'll hold the figure. Now let's look at his hands. Here's a total of 8 of them. 4 right hands and 4 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands. Here's his third pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers for the fire gun. And here's his last pair of hands. This is a pair of default hands. They would look good relaxed at his sides. Now let's look at his gun. It's a very bland looking gun. Honestly, it kind of makes me think of Mr. Freeze's freeze pistol, and it looks unpainted. Sculpt is fine for what it is. Like I said, very bland paint job. Pretty bland sculpt as well. And here's Firefly's, I guess, fire gun at the bottom, next to the original release fire gun. They are completely different. This is what the original release came with. This is what the new one came with. I imagine this is accurate to the show, and this is not. I swear to God, this looks like Mr. Freeze's gun. This is the same gun that came with the Batman figure, and I don't know if maybe McFarlane made a mistake and put the wrong gun with Firefly, or if they felt like they had to put the wrong gun with Firefly because maybe the top one was not approved and they had to have a more bland looking gun. If you guys aren't aware, Warner Brothers has a no gun mandate. Any officially licensed DC figures are not allowed to come with guns in any way, shape, or form, but it seems to be loosening up a bit. Recent Jonah Hex had guns, upcoming Batman vs Superman 2-pack has a couple guns, but a lot of the single releases don't have guns. But this is a single release figure that did have a gun, albeit a bland gun, and not an accurate gun either. Here's Firefly holding that gun. It sort of fits into his hand. The trigger finger is a little bit big to fit into there, but it does work. And this is not the original gun intended for this figure. And then here he is holstering that gun, and it doesn't even fit into the holster properly. It's got two sort of pieces at the front of the gun, but they're connected, and if they were slightly separated, it would fit in there really nicely, but as it is, it doesn't go down far enough. Like I said, there's a little sort of thing in the middle there, and it has two slots, and if this was separated slightly, it would fit perfect down there, but as is, it really doesn't fit properly. But you take his old one, push it in there, honestly, it's really not much better either. Now I'm going to check out the differences and similarities between McFarlane's re-release of Firefly and the original DC Direct one from about 10 years ago. And they are 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation. Of course, the gun's a little bit different, so let's take a look. So, start with their heads. I mean, as a whole, this is what I've sort of experienced with these McFarlane re-releases. The quality of plastic seems to be a little bit better. Like when I switch out the hands, I'm not as concerned with breaking the pegs off as with the original figures. But the paint job is a little bit inferior. It's really, really glossy. This one here has sort of more of a matte, flat paint, and I think it's better for Firefly. He's just so shiny. And the gray is just a little bit different, and I think it looks better on the original. Mine has a horrible little spot on his neck there. That's the original version. So definitely some quality control issues on the original, as well as the McFarlane one. It's really the exact same figure, just a super glossy paint job here and maybe a little bit lighter. It goes all the way down. I mean, his pants are glossy, but it should be this sort of fire-resistant suit, and it wouldn't be shiny like that. The rocket pack, a little bit darker on the original, and I prefer the way it looks on the original. It still has that sculpted DC Comics, all that sort of stuff. This one actually has different stuff sculpted onto the plastic, a little bit less noticeable. Which one do you guys prefer? Shiny re-release or sort of flat original one? I personally prefer the original release. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head is standing about 6.1 inches tall, which can translate to 15.5 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, it can rotate side to side. He can look up and down, really not at all. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out a tiny bit less than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. He's got single jointed elbow. Goes in about 90 degrees, maybe a tad less, with rotation. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged. Torso is one solid piece. He's got a waist swivel below that. Legs completely to splits, but looks hideous when you do that. They go forward, really not much at all. Back, not much either. Single jointed knee, and they also barely go back. It looks like the plastic is trying to crack open there. I mean, look at that. Not good. And the ankle, forward and back. I got rotation at the boot, and honestly, I don't think you can tilt a rock either. So, a little bit limited on the articulation, but happy to have this Firefly for the collection. Here's a look at Firefly in a burning building. A burning building that he caused. That's his passion. Pyromania. Now let's check him out. Next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Firefly figures. Here's McFarlane's re-release of the new Batman Adventures Firefly, next to DC Direct's original release. Here he is, next to a DC Direct Arkham Origins Firefly. I would say with complete confidence this is the best Firefly figure ever out there. Wings are very fragile, they broke many times, I've glued them a lot. His leg broke off, I glued that. But the Firefly design is really, really cool. He still has that signature one antenna on the right hand side. And it's a really good figure. Looks really good. Articulation could be a little better, and the fragile aspect could also be a little better. It broke my heart when I saw that Mattel had designed a Firefly and never released him. It looks so good. I hope McFarlane gets around to him soon. Here he is, next to Mattel's The Batman Animated Series Firefly. And now, with the Mattel Dark Knight Trilogy Firefly. This is actually from the 2008 Dark Knight movie, and it's really weird. They actually made a Deathstroke and Firefly figure to go along with the Heath Ledger Joker Dark Knight film. And then, next to a Tron figure, this guy's a little bit larger, works with your 7-inch stuff. I thought this would be a good Firefly substitute, and I still believe that. He has the wings, and I don't really know what's up with this guy. I'm not familiar with this character, but he even has the 1 antenna on the side, just like Firefly. And then here's my entire collection of Firefly figures by Mattel and DC Direct. Here's Firefly next to a custom Firebug, a villain with a similar motif. Now let's check him out next to some other DC Direct animated figures. Here he is next to the rest of his wave. This is the newest and third wave of the new Batman Adventures figures. Anti-Fire Batman, Firefly, and the Creeper. I don't know if there's a Platinum in this wave. I don't think there is, but I'm curious to find out. And here he is, next to the previous wave of the new Batman Adventures figures. Catwoman, Nightwing, Bane, and the Joker. Then, next to the recent Girls Night Out 3-pack. This is an Amazon exclusive, and is also based off the new Batman Adventures. And here he is, next to the Legends of the Dark Knight 3-pack. This is a Best Buy exclusive. This is also based off the new Batman Adventures. And now, with the most recent wave of Batman the Animated Series figures. These are Target exclusives. They're cel-shaded. We have Lightning Strike Batman, Two-Face, Batgirl, and Chris's Joker. Get all 4 of those. Collect to build Maxi Zeus. And here, with McFarlane's Batman Beyond offerings, Terry McGinnis Batman, then the Old Man Bruce Wayne and Ace of the Bat-Hound 2-pack. Here's a look at all the Batman villains, Batman the Animated Series style. These are done with DC Direct. Gonna add Condiment King to this mix. And here's a look at all the different animated villains, the new Batman Adventure style. Different style, same universe. They all look fantastic next to each other. Here's this Firefly figure, next to a Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Firefly. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a DC Direct animated figure, they're typically the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger. Here he is with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and SH Figure Arts action figures. And now, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends, and some Make-Fix figures. Here's Firefly, next to a bottle of peroxide. And here he is, next to some Mattel DC and Mezco figures. Then, with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some NECA and DC Direct figures. Next, with some Diamond Select toys and Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. And finally, next with some McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. So overall, this is a nice Firefly figure. I like the character Firefly, I think it's pretty cool. Pretty much all of his different outfits look cool from the comics, video games, etc. Here are the negative things about this figure. The paint job is too glossy, doesn't look good as the old one. The gun, what the heck is going on with that? They gave him Batman's gun instead of the original Firefly's gun. Doesn't fit his holster properly. Fits in his hand pretty good, but not perfect. His articulation, a little on the weak side of things. I get it, none of these animated figures have double jointed elbows or knees, but would have been nice. Some of the good things about him, I like his size. He's bigger than some of the other animated figures. I appreciate that. Some of them are so small and brittle. He's in a pretty cool outfit. And it's a new rogue to add to the collection. If I were to rate this figure, probably going to give him a 6 out of 10. He could be a little better, that's for sure. I hope McFarlane makes a DC Multiverse version. They would make an excellent Firefly. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.